So you guys will remember that we last spoke about Bishop T.D. Jakes having some people that were after him law case wise and whatnot and all that entire jazz. Now it looks like this has now resulted into an event where he almost collapsed on the stage, and people came to his aid and stuff like that. That stuff was trending for about the last day or so. Now I wanted to talk about what was happening around that period that brings up two things to mind when you're looking at this. Because first, someone might say, okay, he's facing a lot of stress because of these things. And then someone might look at the very same information that I'm going to present in this video and say, oh, he's trying to create a case for what he is saying in the lawsuits, or whatever is going on in the lawsuits wise and all that entire jazz. There's a little bit for us to cover in this video, and this is going to be almost like an update episode. And so I want to do this video a little bit of justice by covering a little bit of material that's around it that you might have not. You will notice that in the previous episode I kept mentioning, you know what, we don't have time to be talking about the same thing. Okay, yeah, we talk about it, we keep it moving, because there's a lot that pertains the church that we could be talking about. It's the Contextuality Show, the daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time over here, be sure check out the other videos that are down in the pinned comments, and I'm gonna check you out over there. So do remember, those people that do travel to Limpopo, I have a little bit of a survey down. A company that is working on an airport down in the depths of Limpopo have been saying, you know what, you guys tell us what you are interested in pertaining this particular airport. So please, if you have time, 2 minutes of your time, it will not take any personal data. They just need to know what are people interested in seeing in an airport environment going towards Limpopo, South Africa, over there. So if you're over there, but even if you don't go that side, what is it that you are interested in seeing in an airport? So do go over there. Let's just give them a couple of data points for them to work from and keep it going over there. All right. And so let's talk about this particular story. You'll remember a few weeks back, but 3 weeks back, I made an episode of a person who claimed to be a victim of Bishop T.D. Jakes by the name of Bishop White Youngblood, this particular gentleman that you see over there. Now, this particular story came out about 3 weeks back. We spoke about it, and what we didn't get to talk about between the last 3 weeks was that Bishop Whitehead had actually intended to actually start off a lawsuit against Bishop T.D. Jakes. Now, while he planned that, another thing that we might have not been privy to, or information we might have not been privileged to know, is that when he was planning this lawsuit, maybe 3, 4, 5 days before, after he had planned this, or he had announced this particular lawsuit thingy, there was then a lawsuit against him put forward. That's going to be important to why I'm saying someone can look at this video, and so I don't want to give one side, I want to give both sides. Someone might listen to this video and take it to say, oh, Bishop Jakes' collapse was fake because of this. Okay, so Mr. Whitehead, okay, which I found actually that there were videotapes of him online where he was preaching and stuff like that, because we had only just seen that small little shot on thingy. He doesn't have much of a presence online, but he seems to have been a known preacher from about 10 years ago or so. And so he was planning to do his lawsuit thing against Bishop Jakes. Now you'll remember, there was also the Manasseh, Prophet Manasseh, who also started his own lawsuit thingy not long ago. Now, there were demands that were made. Now, I don't know how accurate these things here are actually, which are actually been stated here, the numbers that are going to be stated here. Okay, just want to give you the highlights of the stories. So while he planned to do his lawsuit stuff, almost immediately, now this is before the preaching, when Bishop T.D. Jakes actually almost collapsed. Almost immediately, almost a day or so in that period, Bishop T.D. Jakes then was working on his own lawsuit to sue for defamation. Bishop T.D. Jakes is suing Bishop Youngblood for defamation following, hinting at stress from a $6 million extortion demand may have contributed to the recent And so this is why I wanted to give a little bit of background, is that the man then said these things, right? Now he named a lot of people, which is why I even covered it. He named a lot of people within the time frame of what he said happened. Named a lot of people. And what becomes very interesting is that Bishop Jakes, the message he was particularly preaching, if you go and look for it, you will hear Bishop T.D. Jakes hinting at entering a fight. And right before that particular almost collapse thing, Bishop Jakes says, you need someone praying for you so that you can stand during a fight. So it was clear that Bishop Jakes was not even preaching thingy. He was particularly preaching his situation. He was preaching his situation. Now, this also goes back into the whole thing of, exegetical preaching and eisegetical preaching and stuff like that. You can see the negatives of an exegetical preaching is that what it does is that we draw so much from us instead of the word, or taking directly from the word, we start to preach ourselves. Now, Paul warns against that and stuff like that. But anyways, that's not where we are. The thing that I wanted to point mostly into, okay, now also I want to mention the 6 million extortion thingy demand, or settling out of court for about 6 million. I don't know if that's an official number. I do know that there's a lot of blogs that have posted that to say that Mr. Youngblood might be wanting to settle this particular lawsuit, because a lot of lawsuits in the US are structured like this. It's that you settle out of court in the sense that you pay off whatever, and all that kind of stuff. So the collapse for some people might hint to say, Bishop Jakes is trying to create his own environment for saying that this entire thing, or this entire supposed lawsuit, has created such stress for him to a point where he almost fell publicly. Everybody was reporting on it. TMZ, CNN, whatnot. Everybody was reporting on it. And so now they saw this publicly, where he almost collapsed because of the stress of this whole thing. He can claim that. He can absolutely claim that. But that man, when he put out all those, the videos that he put out and whatnot, the interviews that he did around it, he put out a lot of details. Like the details that he put out, and they said a lot. It's actually why I reported on it to begin with, is that he named specific people. I was with this bishop here, he knew what happened. I was with this pastor here, he knew what happened and whatnot. So the collapse that people saw is just a small part of the whole story. The collapse that people saw may just think, yes, Bishop Jakes is old. Yes, absolutely get that. But there seems to be a lot around that, is that the testimony that Pastor Youngblood, I keep saying Whitehead. Whitehead is that other pastor who was pointed by a gun, whatnot, and got robbed, ended up in jail. Okay, Bishop Youngblood here. Not only did he do the testimonies publicly 3 weeks back, he was fixing up for a lawsuit. And the particular lawsuit that he was, also Bishop Jakes also was almost counter-suing him, claiming defamation. And that case was about, I don't know if it was 48 hours or 72 hours before the collapse. Okay? So that's a little bit more detail around this, or a little bit of on time frame that we might have not had around this particular story. to say there's a lot that Bishop Jakes might be dealing with concerning this entire thing. Now, remember, these all came after the P. Diddy thing. These all came after the P. Diddy thing. When he reacted to that, it created this environment of response. And before you knew it, this stuff started to come out. Now, like I said, Bishop Whitehead himself, I did find like a couple of clips here of him from a couple of years back. But I also found other things, like I found conviction articles concerning him. And you can see another article right here that kind of talks about that. The Tribe Live. Okay, this article was written some time ago, 26 on the 26th. You can see, so this article is from today, bringing up a subject matter of a case. Okay, so this was reposted. Okay, that's what it is. It's a repost because the original article comes from 2015. It says convicted former Homestead pastor gets more jail time. And then it says former pastor of Homestead was given an additional time on Monday for violation of his probation when he he was It's get wild. That article just got wild. And so now this this kind of answers why when he phrased this story is that he was trying to walk away from feelings otherwise into, and then put him, you understand, you have to read between the lines. I can't be saying everything. And so this article here directly quotes and puts him in thinking. This other article that I showed here, Bishop at whatnot, it directly attributes the origin of the article to back here. And this one here, this Tribe article comes to this one right here. And they do label him as a person who has done some dodgy man stuff over there. And so it looks like Mandem has a wild record himself. 2 people that were thinking, and also his picture was put there on the article, and that is directly him over there. And so just a small little update on that story. It's gone a lot more wild than where we were last time. And also, it brings a bit of context. Can't just trust people because you see them up there. Some of these people, no maturity, no growth, nothing. And as a result, when they are out in the public, they do not uphold that title with the viewpoint that you have. Yeah, tell me your thoughts down in the comments section. I thought this was a lot. I wanted to put it all in this one episode. I did want to make a separate episode around the collapse and the update concerning thingy, and also the record of the Mandem according to these particular 2 articles that I'm seeing right here. It's quite wild. Now that might explain why he doesn't have much of a presence online. Maybe that's because of this particular record that you see here. Y'all tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. Looks like there's a lot going on around Bishop T.D. Jakes. Another episode, be down in the pin comments, and I'm going to see you later on.